Well, grace and peace, and good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to 30 Days of Faith, where we are traveling through the book of Proverbs and we are increasing our faith as we go. I want to welcome you to day number 19 as we travel through the Proverbs. In day number 19, I want you to consider with me Proverbs 19 and verse number 8. I'll read it out of the New Living Translation. To acquire wisdom is to love oneself. People who cherish understanding will prosper. I'll read that again. Proverbs 19 and 8 says, to acquire wisdom is to love oneself. People who cherish understanding will prosper. Well, what is our faith confession today? What is our affirmation for day number 19? It is simply this: today I have the faith to love myself. Would you say that with me this morning? Today I have the faith to love myself. In the 1850s, there was a woman by the name of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and she was in a courtship with her soon-to-be husband, Robert Browning, who happens to be a poet. Well, actually, both of them were actually poets. And during their courtship, they would write letters one to another and exchange their affections and desires. One of Elizabeth Barrett Browning's most famous of that series of 44 poems is the 43rd poem that's entitled, How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways. Now, years ago when I heard that phrase and when I heard of that statement, it sounded to me like it was Shakespearean, but it indeed was not. It is written by, again, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and she said, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. And I bring this poem up because in Proverbs 19 and in verse number 8, the scripture says that when I acquire wisdom, it is actually signaling to the fact that I actually love myself. Now, I want you to take a moment to consider Proverbs 19 and verse number 8, but I want you to consider it in light of these particular statements. When I acquire wisdom, as Proverbs 19 and verse 8 says, it says that I am showing a love for myself. Not only does it show when I acquire wisdom that I am loving on myself, but there are three things I want to share with you this morning that you may want to write them down. You may not want to write them down, but let me share them with you quickly. Number one, when I acquire wisdom, it actually shows also that I have a care for my own well-being, because it shows that I'm not trying to live my life haphazardly and to live my life frivolously. But it also shows a concern for personal growth. When you and I attempt to acquire wisdom or to live a wiser life, what we're actually suggesting is that not only are we concerned about our own well-being, we're also concerned about our own personal growth. But here's the third thing I want you to consider this morning. We're thinking in context of Proverbs 19 and verse number 8. When you and I acquire wisdom, it also shows a concern and a care for others. You say, well, Bishop, how does that work? Well, when I live a wiser life, when I acquire wisdom so that I live a better life, I also, by living in wisdom, I become a trailblazer. I become a pattern for others to follow. And so I also show a concern for others by living a life that allows them to see life in a better context, because I chose to not only acquire wisdom, but to live in wisdom. This is what I want you to do today for your and my faith application for today. I want you to write down 10 things, catch this, 10 things you love about you. All right? Write down 10 things that you love about you. I know you could probably write a whole much longer list of the things you do not like about you, but that's not the focus for today. Today we are declaring that we have the faith to live in wisdom and live in wisdom by loving ourselves. Now, 10 things that you love about yourself, and spend time thinking about those things and understanding that when you love those things about yourself, you will apply wisdom to those areas because you love you. All right, that's all the time I have for you this morning. Join me tomorrow, the Lord say the same, where we will continue our track through the book of Proverbs, increasing our faith as we go. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.